Alright, so what is going on, everybody? We are here for a little bit different of a video. Some big news dropped tonight in the LC world, which is that the menace to society, which is Girafarig, is finally getting suspect tested in the LC tier. Everybody that I've known and I've talked to in LC tier has been waiting, praying, hoping that this Mon gets suspect tested because this Mon does not deserve to be in this tier. It's way too overpowered. The checks to it are too little, and they go into it a little bit here in this forum. But I'm finally glad it's getting suspect tested, guys. And we'll get into the requirements later. But if you guys are enjoying this LC content, make sure you smash that like button for me. Make sure you subscribe. Trying to get to 200 subscribers. Not really a timeline for it, but let's just say it's the end of January. Let's try to get to 200 subscribers by the end of February. Let's try to get to 200 subscribers by the end of February. Let's get the likes up. Let's share this content. And let me know what your thoughts are on Girafarig being suspect tested. Now, shout out to Coconut here. They are the leader of the LC Council, and this is what they're saying. It's the first suspect test of the year. So, smell that. It smells like the first Little Cup suspect of the new generation. It couldn't really be anything else but Girafarig. A brand new to us Pokemon that didn't strike the immediate radar as broken, but absolutely had the stat total and move pool to be problematic. After the wave of auto ban and quick bans, the Giraffe stood alone as the last true powerhouse of the new additions, boasting a blazing fast 19 speed and psychic typing. It immediately hit the tier with shades of Abra. That being said, Abra's paper-thin defenses did not light a candle to Girafarig, who has respectable but not overwhelming defensive prowess. Couple that with powerful attacking stats on both the attack and special attack, and comparisons to Ponyta were more appropriate. So, in this first paragraph, just in general, it's just telling you how the bulk of the Mon, just basically off of base stat total, but also just the raw power of the Mon. Whenever you get compared to Mons like Abra and Ponyta and LC tier, you know you're pretty broken in a sense. And 19 speed is absolutely blazing and really, really fast in LC. Girafarig is not Abra and Ponyta though. This is a threat unlike many of the others that have embraced the metagame. Girafarig has a move pool unlike many Pokemon with a powerful special attacking options, like the new multi-hit move Twin Beam and the new Terra Blast to complement not just notable normal type stabs, but a stab of whatever type Girafarig can choose to Terra into. Couple that with coverage options, which make the Pokemon more complete, but options to boost you already a higher attack stat like special attack stat like Nasty Plot or Calm Mind are options if you want to more of a wall breaker. And it doesn't include options such as the physical side where it can run Psychic Fangs, Body Slam, Earthquake, Crunch, etc. with Trailblaze. So that's another one that you could do. And all of that was not enough depending on the set. Chipping it down became a challenge with Wish rest sets as uncommon options to complete your Girafarig. So like for me in particular, how I used to run my Girafarigs, and you kind of see a little bit in my LC lives, is that, and I've been running a lot on ladder, is that I would run dual stab. So I would run Twin Beam and Terra Blast with Nasty Plot, and then I would run Rest with Early Bird. And that set has been amazing to me. If you can't get away Poison from Glamet, or you just get burnt, or you just get chipped down early in the game, you can just rest it off. You wake up in one turn and you're back to like 70%. It's honestly really, really nice to have 70 or 60%. So that's personally a set that I like the most. I've seen everything from Terra Bug to knock out Toadstools in one hit. I've seen Terra Dark to beat other um, to beat other Girafarigs if they don't plan on using their Terra just yet. The obvious one is Terra Fighting to beat Pawniards. We also ran into some Terra Normals to boost its normal type stab. So like if it wants to run Nasty Ball Hyper Voice or just regular Body Slam, you can run that. I've also seen Terra Ground as well to stop Thunderbolt switch-ins, and then you just get a powerful Terra Ground. It's still super effective against Pawniard. But now it's also super effective against Mons like Voltorb and other electric types in the tier, and Magnemite as well. Let's go on to read whatever else they got. While there's been a significant amount of counterplay, both old and new, part of the first suspect of the generation will be determining if that counterplay is significant enough to fend off the suspect in question. Nimble is rather unassuming bug type on the surface who does an excellent job of forcing Girafarig with first impression, U-turn, or sucker punch. Diglett is ever present who outspeeds and can revenge kill with a relative ease. Additionally, Girafarig has rather unassuming Oko potential, leaving many things able to successfully trade blows. Part of the challenge, however, is determining which set to check with the options available on your team. For example, Toadstool does a wonderful job eating Twin Beams from Special Girafarig, but will fold against physical-oriented ones. Proper team reading and scouting of potential moves can alleviate this, but doing this incorrectly could potentially result in a free calm mind for your opponent, which is particularly dangerous. There's also an elephant in the room of Terra transformations and typing, which add different, previously unseen dynamic to the game and will affect the outcome of the suspect test. Girafarig has several different popular Terra types. We won't be getting into that too much and into which specifically ones, but it is important to note that Girafarig has the potential to use Terra both offensively and defensively. Kind of like what I was getting to earlier about defeating the monster that it wants to defeat. Giving it an additional resistance to particular threats and being able to blow past a typical check is not something to be scoffed at. Terra, while not focused on the suspect, should not be given the significant weight, is something that to be accounted for throughout the suspect within the scope of how it is used for, against, and by Girafarig. So kind of like I was speaking earlier, I'll give you a prime example. If you plot with Girafarig and they go immediately into Pawniard, you not only use Terra Fighting there to Oko to Pawniard, but you would also use Terra Fighting to resist that sucker punch that Pawniard would give to you if that was the case. Or you can hit the Fighting type Terra, and you could just nasty plot in front of a Pawniard, which is absolutely wild to think about. And that's just one way to do it. But here is some other needed things if you want to go ahead and suspect test yourself on a ladder. So the voting requirements is a minimum of a GXC of 78, which 78 with at least 50 games played. So I'll probably be creating another account and just being able to go ahead and do this vote. 78 is actually decently high. That means just winning 78% of your games. So let's see. 78 for 0.78 times 50. That means you got to win at least 39 of your games. So out of 50 games you play, you got to win 39 of them, which doesn't sound crazy, but whenever you get the higher ladder, it gets pretty rough. In addition, you may play one less game for every 0.2 you have above 78, down to a minimum of 30 games at a GXC of 82. As always, needing more than 50 games to reach 78 GXC is fine. So the minimum games needed. Obviously, if you hit a GXC of 82 and you only need to play 30 games. So The only reason you need to hit 78 is if you get 50 games. For this suspect test, you will be using the regular Scarlet and Violet LC ladder, so you must create a new account that begins with GLCLG to qualify. When you have reached the requirements, click here to post your proof. Girafarig will be legal on ladder until the suspect test is over. The suspect period will end Sunday, January 29th at 11:59 p.m. So I will be participating in this suspect test. So that means I'm recording this on Saturday night, so it's going all the way till not this coming Sunday, but the next Sunday. So I will be participating in this for sure. And here's some other people's thoughts. The best check is itself, moveset variety, Terra variety, exceedingly hard to factor in 19 base speed. It's pretty foul. I've been waiting for this ban to happen for a very, very, very long time, because this mod has just been so broken. And I kind of want to go and talk about not only what Mons draft is kind of holding back, but how free other mods are going to be once the draft is gone, because I do think it's going to be banned. I do think this mod is going to be unanimously banned. Like the biggest people in LC are talking about this thing. I'm surprised. Wes has been in LC for a very long time. I genuinely would be surprised if I see a single person vote no ban. This mod absolutely does not belong in the tier, and it's super obvious. Like, it has the highest base stat total in the entire tier. It needs to go. And it needs to go. With Nasty Potty has 36 special attack, which is insane. So this mod just generally needs to go. And with you only having a couple of mons to outspeed it, which is Diglett and Voltorb that you see consistently outside of Scarfers and Priority, it's not going to be looking good. It's not going to be looking good at all. But I kind of go through what Wes said. The speed, the move pool, and high BST. It switch around. This is kind of what I want to get into. It doesn't really have many checks. It's not really bulky, but it has enough to live hits. And it doesn't really have any glaring faults. You kind of just but like like for example, like he talks here, it loses to Deerling 1v1. Like if it gets T waved, or it doesn't like T spikes, legitimately, I say all you need to do, but obviously you need to go through paralysis. But you can rest that off with early bird rest, and that is alleviated. So it's really, really hard to check this mod in general. But other than that, I kind of want to go here. As you can see, I can't use my main account right now. This is me. I can't use my main account, but I kind of want to go ahead and look at, for example, if I use, this is a team that I want to use and I've been having really nice success for. If I want to use, where is a giraffe? Where is a giraffe? I have a giraffe here. Let's go to this nimble offense team. So like if I use this nimble offense team, this is the general set, or this is a very common set that you'll see with Girafarig. In my opinion, I like this set the most. Twin Beam rest, or Twin Beam Terra Blast rest, Nasty Plot, Terra Blast with stab. It's just gonna go nuts, and then Twin Beam there. I've also seen Protect variants as well. If you don't need to run rest or Nasty Plot, you can just run 3 attacks. I've seen physical with like Body Slam, Crunch, and Earthquake. I've seen Psychic Fangs as well. You can also run D-Gleam on there, Energy Ball. I haven't seen a lot of Future Sights. Future Sight you don't really use a lot in LC since the games run so fast. Trailblaze, I've seen a trick one. We played a trick one in the last LC Live that I recorded. You won't see that for a couple weeks though. And then obviously like Calm Mind variants and things like that. But yeah, I think the move set, the move pool, it has a BST of, I want to say, let's see, Giraffe. It has a 455 BST. In LC, that is stupid high. I think the next highest base stat total would probably be, if we were to just base it off of BST, right? Obviously, you have all these. Girafarig's the highest with 455. So that's the same base stat total, or around the base stat total, as Basculin, as Lilligant, as like these Quillfish, Persian Alola. Has higher base stat total than Dougie Alola. So the next highest one is Mudbray at 385. So you're looking at a difference of like 15, 55, like looking at a difference of like 70 base stat total, which is very, very large. Very, very large. This mod needs to get banned. I will reiterate it and keep reiterating. This mod needs to get banned. The only check to it, and you might be asking me, oh, Primal, why are you running all these Toad Schools on your teams? It's because Girafarig and Pawniard are so common in the tier. Granted, it doesn't check Pawniard, but it does the job enough where it can EP Pawniard and then let one of my other mons kill it. But Toad School is so important because this mon exists. It's one of the only mons in the tier that can actually tank a hit from Girafarig, knock it off, spin, and get a little bit of damage off on it before you could kill it with something else. But then again, you're sacrificing a mon that's your spinner. Sometimes it's your hazard setter. So then you sacrifice basically a removal for Giraffe, and people can set up rocks, T-spikes, etc. And if you run mons like Nimble on your team, obviously this sucks. And it's hard too, because you run Nimble on your team to check mons like Girafarig, to check mons like Pawniard. Terra Bug is super good on it. So you can, even if they change it to a different Terra typing, with Girafarig, you do a decent amount of damage to it regardless. That's why Scarf Magnemite is being ran a lot. Scarf Zorua is being run a whole lot in the tier right now. Scarf Mastiff and Weasel is being ran a lot in the tier too. Voltorb is being ran a lot. Diglett is very, very common in the tier with Terra Ice. So it can EQ. Usually they run Life Orb or Focus Sash. I've seen Eviolite a couple times. But it's mainly to check this mon here. I mean, this mon is a very menace to society. If we were to go here and we add Giraffe, Inner Focus is not really used a lot. Early Bird and Sap Sipper are the main ones that are used. Sap Sipper mainly for Giga Drain from Toad School, since that's like its main check, but it really doesn't matter. But like I said, physical variants can run something along the lines of Psychic Fangs, Body Slam, EQ, and Trailblaze. Like this could be a physical set, whereas like other Girafarigs that you see, they can run something along the lines of, and you might want to run this like Sap Sipper in order to get the +1, and you could just run Jolly, like it hits 17 speed, and then you can just put the rest into defense there, or you could just run this Early Bird, like with the set I said. You could do Twin Beam, Terra Blast, Rest, and Nasty Plot, or Calm Mind. Either one works. Either one works with Eviolite. So this is another potential set you can run to boost your special attack and special defense. And then I've also seen sets with a giraffe for support. So you can run Twin Beam, Terra Blast, Wish, Protect. And this set actually helps beat opposing Nimbles, because Twin Beam will just 2-co right after. I think after a little chip. It just OKOs. Nimble's not very useful. But then all these will run any really Terra. I've seen Terra Dark. I've seen Terra Bug. I've seen Terra Ground. Terra Fighting is a very big one that I personally like to use. I've seen Terra Normal. But those are like the main ones that I've seen used. Terra Fighting helps you beat mons like Pawniard. Terra Bug helps you beat mons like Toadstool. Terra Dark actually helps you beat opposing Girafarigs if you have something on the physical set. If you don't run any of these, if you don't want to run Trailblaze, you can run Crunch to help beat opposing Girafarigs. But you can run this set, to be honest with you. And I've also seen, I ran into this on ladder. I ran into I think it was Psychic, Hyper Voice. No, I think it was Body Slam. What was it? Body Slam, Earthquake, Psychic Fangs, Trick. And I've seen it ran Scarf. And you're still 18 speed. So I've seen this set before. Another set that I've seen that Wes actually used, so I'll be using him as an example. A set that we saw in one of the lives that I did is that we saw a Girafarig that did this, and it walled opposing Girafarigs. So what you do is that you run Twin Beam, you run Terra Blast, you run Imprison, and you run either Calm Mind or you run Nasty Plot. Now, Calm Mind is a little bit better on this set, I think, to stop opposing giraffes, but Imprison is mainly used for no foe can use any move that is known by the user. And since mostly all the giraffes, like you see physical giraffes, sometimes there's a possibility, but it's mostly special that you see on ladder. So, and each of them run Twin Beam or Terra Blast. The only thing that might be different on a Girafarig that's special is that if they don't run this set in particular, they'll run something like this. They'll run 3 attacks with like Calm Mind. So they'll usually run Twin Beam, Terra Blast, and Thunderbolt. And Thunderbolt's mainly to beat bulky waters and things like that. And then you just run Calm Mind. And it's something neutral to be able to hit Pawniards with too. So if you run into a Girafarig like that, the only thing it can hit you with is T-Bolt. Or if they only have 2 moves and they're like Rest, Calm Mind, or Wish Protect, or whatever, you can easily just set up on the Girafarig and it can't do anything at all. And it's super oppressing because you don't want anything to switch in, because if anything switches in to the Girafarig, you just straight up die. So you kind of just have to bite the bullet. You just basically lose. So this is a really cool set to use too. And this is what kind of Wes was kind of getting into about Girafarig only being able to be walled. Or there's a shoddy straw man, my fault, where he said that Girafarig's main thing, let me pop it back up here. Girafarig's main thing is that its best check is itself, and that's one way that the Girafarig is its best check to itself. So if a Mon is its best, if a Mon's best check is itself, it needs to go. It needs to go. So my thoughts on the matter is that Girafarig is going to get banned. Once it gets banned, because I do think it's going to get banned, I'll cover that. But yeah, that's basically everything that I wanted to talk about. I guess I could use the extra 5 minutes here. Some mods that I think are going to benefit from Girafarig being banned is, I think the obvious one is Pawniard. I think the Pawniard is going to have less pressure on it, and it's going to become very, very vital. I think Toadstool is going to have a lot of pressure off of it, and you might actually see more, actually physically defensive Toadstools, because they have to run, like some sort of SPDEF to not only wall other Toadstools, but to wall Girafarigs, because you see special Girafarigs so much. So Toadstool's going to have a lot of pressure on it, or have a lot of pressure alleviated off of it. The fighting types in the tier, so I think you'll start to see more fighting types than usual. I think Krogunk is going to get a lot better in the tier. Personally, I think you'll see a lot more Krogunk in the tier as like Pawniard comes to rise, and you might see different movesets on Pawniard now too. Instead of just SD 3 attacks or 4 attacks Pawniard, you might actually see, if Krogunk rises in rank, you might see something like Psycho Cut. Does it get Psycho Cut? It doesn't get Psycho Cut. Okay, that's Bisharp. Or it's not, or that's post home. That's post home. It usually gets Psycho Cut, but that's post home. But you're probably gonna see Krogunk rise in rank. Crabrawler is gonna rise in rank. I can see bulk up Crabrawler going crazy now, because one of its biggest checks was either Ghastly or Girafarig, and Girafarig was its main one. So I think you're gonna see a lot of that. Me personally, this is just a personal take of mine. I think you'll see these two fighting types the most, by the way. You're going to see Mankey as well. Scarf Mankey will always be good in this tier. You're seeing a decent amount of Railu, but not too much. But all these fighting types should be doing better in the tier. One mod that I did want to shout out that I think is going to be so nice in this tier is Weasel. Weasel is going to be so freaking nice in the tier. It's going to be nutty. With Water Veil, and you could either do Life of 4 attacks, you could do Rain with Prankster, Strudel. You could do a lot of things, right? I think it's going to become a very big menace with Wave Crash, where it would actually be really, really nice to see. I think you'll see a lot more Drifloon. Drifloon would be really nice in the tier as well, even though it already is. Glammet, I think the two biggest the 3 biggest benefactors to Girafarig being banned are these 3 mons. I think these 3 mons are I think you could be so dynamic with Glammet now. Not that you couldn't before, but Glammet would always be revenge killed or revenged by Twin Beam, so Sash would be kind of hard to run at times. I've seen Terra Dark just to not be hit by a psychic move and then get a good amount of damage off on Giraffe. So I've seen that before. But I think these will be the biggest benefactors, personally, for me. Ghastly's going to be another one that benefits a lot from Giraffe being gone, so it can spam Ghost type moves freely. So I think that's going to be another mon that's going to benefit a lot from that. Anything else? No, I think that's about it. Oh yeah. Going back to Girafarig, they ran T-Bolt as well for like Quaxley, because Quaxley is super important in the tier. No, I think that's about it. I think you'll be seeing this mon a lot more. You're gonna start seeing this mon a lot more in the meta game. With the rise of Pawniard and Toadstool being more available, you're gonna start seeing a lot more Terra Ghastly. You're gonna be seeing a lot more of Boot Score Bunny with Flare Blitz, Gunk Shot, Sucker Punch, and U-Turn. You can substitute out one of these for, like, for example, like if you don't want Gunk Shot, you can substitute it for HJK or something like that. This mod is going to be really nice for that sort of thing. Solanda could be pretty cool too. Nimble is going to be really nice as well. So there's a lot of mods that are going to be good in the tier, because now that powerful psychic type is gone, the fighting types in the tier, the steel types in the tier can be a lot more free going. Like for instance, my homie Q-Fan, it's gonna be a lot better this time around. So these are just some of the mods that I think are gonna benefit a lot. Fungus is gonna be used a lot more now defensively. I think it's been, surprisingly enough, it's been rarely used in the format, and it was super big Gen 7, Gen 8 it was nice. So Fungus is going to be used a lot more in the tier. So it's a pretty exciting time to play LC. I would try to ladder and use Girafarig, see how broken it is, and let me know your thoughts and what you think in the comment section below on this band. Is it valid? Is it not valid? If I changed your mind by reading this, but also showing you the different sort of movesets that it can have. Let me know in the comments down below how you think, how you feel about it. And I'll ladder off screen, and once it gets banned, I will let you guys know. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Like I said, if you enjoy, leave a comment, leave a like, and also subscribe for more LC content, and I'll keep you up to date on everything that is Gen 9 LC. But with that, I'm out this thing. I love y'all. Stay healthy. Peace.